All right, let's do the global lab patch notes, boys. I heard there's a lot going on in this patch. Accuracy, evasion, and DR rework. So there's a new rework, guys. Accuracy, evasion, and DR. Let's see what they have to say about it. Many people have been waiting for the adjustment on the number of hits for all classes introduced in the previous Black Desert developer commentary. And today we would like to summarize. Share the progress of this work in the future direction. First of all, the number of hits of all classes has initially been adjusted. As the goal is to allow you to enjoy the game in a more comfortable environment, the number of hits has been reduced by more than 60 to 70% for each character, and at most by more than 80%. Additionally, the feeling of hitting was improved to be through additional action work. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it feels like you're like hitting harder. You know, like the skills feel better, I guess is what that means. As the number of hits decreased, adjustments to accuracy and evasion were also made. From a single point of view, it is possible to compensate for the reduced number of hits by adjusting only the skills accuracy and evasion. But if we do this only, we believe it will be difficult to maintain a positive overall balance. This is because as time passes, the damage of each skill on the classes continues to increase compared to the past, and the value of evasion also continues to increase accordingly. Due to the system where the damage is unconditionally set to 0 when evasion is successful, the higher the damage and the fewer the hits the skill has, the higher the value of evasion becomes. Of course, correction for the hits will be carried out together, but with this current evasion system, the large variation in damage due to evasion and relatively higher value of evasion than damage reduction are still unreasonable for adventurers to play the game. It may come at you in a very similar way, even though it is the same opportunity. In some cases, the damage may be significantly lower. Okay? Sorry, guys, it's roughly translated, so I'm doing my best. Therefore, we believe it's necessary to take this opportunity to resolve issues that have been fundamentally problematic in the relationship between evasion and accuracy. Ultimately, no matter what settings we use, such as damage reduction or evasion, we plan to readjust them so that they can ultimately achieve similar efficiency in terms of performance. As mentioned earlier, the system that applies 0 damage unconditionally when evasion is successful is in a situation where the value is greatly amplified as the coefficient increases. Therefore, the system is designed in a way to take partial damage depending on the correlation of accuracy at the time of evasion. Of course, the higher the evasion value, the lower the total damage taken is in the same direction. In the case of damage reduction, there were many opinions about the time until the character dies/kills PvP situations too quickly. The direction is to increase the overall damage reduction ability. This is also the same in that the higher the damage reduction value, the less total damage you take. However, if you accept the decrease in attack power and take the higher damage reduction, you should also consider that the opponent will also have a higher damage reduction, making it difficult to kill him easily. The detailed method will be explained in more detail in the future update. As a result, rather than saying each damage reduction or evasion is better, rather than saying either damage reduction or evasion is better, the two are adjusted so that the efficiencies are similar. Guys, do you remember when I told you guys that the reason that I tell certain classes to build a certain way, like Sork should build evasion, is because the pendulum of PvE constantly swings back and forth, and the developers are constantly trying to bring that pendulum to the middle, right? Here, let me explain it real quick. I'll draw the graph one more time for those of you that haven't seen it. So there's constantly a pendulum of what is better in PvE and in PvP, okay? Right now, DR is considered stronger, okay? For many years, evasion was considered much stronger in both aspects of the game. Then it swung heavily towards DR, and lately there's been update after update after update trying to swing it back towards the middle, okay? Like whether it be reducing the accuracy required at Crypt, buffing evasion stats at Ulakita, etc. They're always trying to bring this pendulum more to the middle for both evasion and DR. So the moral of this story is that if you're an evasion class with evasion passives, you should build evasion. And if you're a DR class or you don't have evasion passives, you should build DR. And this is the reason, this is exactly the reason why I don't tell people to build DR Megu, right? Even though DR Megu can be very good in the current metagame, in both PvE and PvP, eventually that pendulum is going to swing back to the middle, and then they're both going to be about the same in most aspects of the game. At least that's the developer's goal anyway. And then you've just built the wrong way, because Evasion's stronger, because you're supposed to have because you have Evasion passives. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about. This just reaffirms all of the advice that I give players when it comes to their gear score. Okay, so as a result, rather than saying either damage reduction or evasion is better, these two are adjusted so that the efficiencies are similar. We want to make it an optional area that suits individual tastes. You can lower the amount of damage you receive through damage reduction, take that damage through evasion, or take a similar level of damage on average, so each person chooses the direction they want based on their preference. Yeah. In order to make the changes like this, there are naturally some additional adjustments that need to be made. As parts of accuracy, evasion, and damage reduction are adjusted, the accuracy, evasion, damage reduction effects on each class's skills should also be adjusted to an appropriate level within the class characteristics without being excessive. We know that all of these changes come, as all of these changes come, the burden on adventurers may also increase. The current adjustment directions are being made, taking into account all settings currently in use. Even if you don't change your equipment or settings out of the confusion, we are preparing to ensure that the damage reduction and evasion efficiency adjustments mentioned earlier will work well. Okay? Many parts of that means that, like, you shouldn't panic and try to swap your gear back and forth. Just like, you should probably just sit and wait, and then they'll try to make it so that every class can be played with everything, I guess, is kind of what they want, or feel like reasonable. Many parts of the existing system would have been difficult to set up and research, not only for adventurers who are new to PvP, but also for adventurers who have enjoyed PvP for a long time. The change system is something that we want to adjust so that it can be intuitively understood and applied. There may be some inconveniences in these changes right now, but we hope that you understand this as a process to create more fun PvP and positive balance long term. Once the system basics have been refined so that the elements of damage reduction and evasion, which are the basis of combat, have similar efficiency, we believe that adjusting class balance will not only be a short-term task, but will also be possible from a long-term perspective. And again, this is why, guys, you should just build what's good on your class. If you're playing an evasion class like Striker or Mystic, you should play an evasion build, because they're going to adjust it so that you're tanky with those. But you're going to be similar efficiency with both those builds. But, like, then you have evasion passive, so the evasion will just make you objectively tankier if you have that evasion. It's just stronger. If you're an evasion class. If you're a DR build, you should build DR. Like, if you don't have those evasion passes, you should absolutely build DR. It benefits you in basically every way in that case. Like, make sure you're building what your class should be building. Because they're going to make your build worse. They're basically going to make your build worse if you try to go the other way. As I'm trying to explain the system, I think this story may be a bit difficult, so I would like to summarize it as follows. Along with reducing the number of hits, many areas of accuracy, evasion, and damage reduction will be readjusted. Evasion is changed from a concept where damage is 0 when successful to a method where the damage decreases depending on the relationship with the accuracy. Damage reduction ability is increased compared to before. Accordingly, the accuracy, evasion, damage reduction effects for each class skills are also adjusted. We are currently in a situation where we need more time to carry out this work, and we apologize for not being able to provide you with news and within the period we informed you of in advance. We hope that the improved system will provide adventurers with better combat fun. As the process progresses, we will continue to provide adventurers with interim news. Thank you. Okay. So, big evasion accuracy DR rework. The way they're redescribing evasion, guys, is instead what your evasion gear... So, in the past, damage reduction basically meant you wanted a really large health pool because, like, you're going to take... Everything is going to hit you, but you're going to take reduced damage. Okay? But, like... So if you have a really high health pool, you can make the most out of having a DR build. And if you were evasion, you didn't need HP as much. Yeah, HP helped you, but you didn't need HP as much because if something is going to miss you, it misses you entirely. And if something's going to hit you, it hits you entirely. Okay? they're changing this and the concept of evasion basically completely as they adjust the number of hits on each skill. It should feel about the same as before is kind of what they're saying, but now instead of like evasion functioning like, okay, well that hit didn't hit me, so I took 0 damage, you will take some damage based on the percentage of evasion you have compared to their accuracy. So like it's going to function a little bit more like DR in this sense, which is interesting. But they also mentioned that they're basically going to make it so that like evasion and DR make you equally as tanky. And it looks like they're talking about both aspects of the game in PvE and PvP. So again, I say, if you have extra evasion passives, you should just build evasion because you'll be tankier in PvE that way. Because your build will be the same amount of tankiness regardless, but because you have evasion passives, it will make your build that much better. If you don't have evasion passives, you should go for the DR route because you're not going to be able to stack extra evasion anyway. It will help you to go the DR route. Exactly what I've been saying from the very beginning. Exactly what I've been saying from the beginning. What about add-ons, bleeds, toxic burns, etc.? It lands, it's 100% of the time. Yeah, Wutaru's in panic mode, guys, because Wutaru is a shy, and he doesn't actually get hit by anything. Basically, everything just glazes right off his skin, and he's not used to being touched by any other class in the game. And now they're all going to hit you. Hard. What's up, Grim? Nova Awakening is the... Grim, I saw you message me. I have not gotten to it. I have a lot of DMs. I apologize. Nova Awakening is an OG, the best class in the game, but will take you way more time to master than other classes. Oh, well, I don't know what the original question was, but hey, Google, define evasion for me. Classic. Okay, so the Deboreka RIng has been added to the game on the Global Labs, guys, and it's been added through Etherea's Limbo, which means we're going to get the Etherea Limbo rework here as well. So we're getting ready to get the Deboreka RIng. I thought they might wait for the Heidel Ball for this, but it does not look like it. It looks like it's already on the Global Labs, and we're going to get it live in the next few patches, probably, with Etherea's Limbo change here. The Deboreka RIng is by far the best ring in the game for PvE, at least, and sometimes for PvP as well, depending on what your build is and how much accuracy you feel like you need. If you want to see what the optimized build looks like or the specifics, I have a gear guide. You can go check that out. Etherea's Limbo Rework. This is what I'm kind of waiting for. This is exciting. Etherea's Limbo Rework is content that can be enjoyed more quickly and without the burden of existing Etherea's Limbo. This is an opportunity to obtain the Deboreka RIng in any monster zone. Whoa. This is an opportunity to obtain Deboreka's RIng in any monster zone with a recommended AP of 310 or higher for adventurers who visit. The Forgotten Witches token item will be added as loot. The probability of obtaining it is low, but as long as you obtain the Forgotten Witches token, you're guaranteed to obtain 2 Deboreka rings in Etherea's Limbo. Wow. Wow. You're guaranteed 2 Debo rings. Bro, that drops. It's easily 1.2, 1.3 bill, guys. Boom. In a drop. There's an ad. There's nothing I can do, guys. It's fine. It'll be up on YouTube too. In addition, the additional acquisition is possible through additional treasure chests that appear depending on the strategy stage. Of course, all Deboreka rings that can be obtained in Etherea's Limbo can be acquired at duo level. Oh my god, so you're guaranteed 2 at base, guys. And they can drop enhanced on top of it. That's crazy. That's insane. How to enter the Limbo. Escape menu, enter Etherea's Limbo. Okay. When entering Etherea's Limbo, you must meet the following conditions. Level 56 or higher, not in combat, maximum health, not in a party. Okay. You can start Etherea's Limbo through the Etherea stone tablets inside Etherea's Limbo. In order to challenge the Etherea's trials, you need Forgotten Witches token. Forgotten Witches token can be obtained from the following monster zones at a very low probability. Tungrad Ruins, Yazrid Highlands, Darkseeker's Retreat, City of the Dead, Tunkita, Dekia's Lantern, Olin's Valley, Dekia, Thornwood Forest, Dekia, Ash Forest, Dekia, Cyclops, Dekia, and Quint Hill, Elvia. Wow, Quint Hill, Elvia? Huge. Huge. Yo, Quint Hill just got so much better. Wait, that means when you're grinding for your, like, bro, you only need, like, 690 gear score to do Quint Hill. That's crazy. That's the only Elvia spot on this list. Looks like all the Ulukita spots, and then most of the Dekia spots. I don't see Dekia Histria, Dekia Achman, Dekia or Pilaku, or sulfur mine on here. That's probably because they dropped the treasure items. Although these other spots drop treasure items too, so it's kind of weird that they didn't give it to those. We'll see. Wow. With the addition of the Forgotten Witches token, the Forgotten Witches token has been added to the loot list in the following monster zones. Oh, there it is. It's the new one. When Etherea Limbos begins, the Crystal of Oblivion appears, and the Blessing of Oblivion rests on the adventurer. Adventurers can challenge the trial through the Crystal of Oblivion. If you overcome the total of these trials, the Gate of Oblivion will appear, and you can enter the room where the Legacy of the Forgotten Trials sleeps. Okay, that's pretty epic. That's really cool. When Etherea's trial begins, the Blessing of Oblivion will bless the adventurer who takes the Etherea's trial. The Blessing of Oblivion grants the great power to the adventurers who take on the trials of Etherea. The Blessing of Oblivion, extreme cold. In its Blessing of Oblivion, forgetting to fear the extreme cold. Oh, it's a Blessing of Oblivion, forgetting to fear the extreme cold. You can inflict additional damage to monsters that appear in the cubicle trial. Okay, so each of these, whether it be Blessing of Oblivion, Extreme Cold, Crack, Ancient, or Void, basically just gives you extra damage. Just gives you extra damage, okay? When you overcome these trials contained in the Crystal of Oblivion, the Witch's Scars will appear. One of the several types of Witch's Scars will appear, and depending on the results, you can obtain the Legacies of the Forgotten Trials. In the Legacy of Forgotten Trials, you can drop various loot, including the Deboreka RIng, at a given rate. The room where the Forgotten Legacy of Ethereal chests. Once all 3 trials have been overcome, the Gates of Oblivion will appear. All of the Oblivion crystals will glow golden, and the doors of Etherea's Limbo will lead to a room where the Legacy is hidden. In the room with the Forgotten Legacy of the Trial sleeps, you can obtain the items below, including the Deboreka RIng. So you can just walk in and open treasure chests. Dude, you know what this reminds me of? Hold on. It reminds me of this. Oh my god, it's such low quality. This one better? This is better. It reminds me of this. This is Destiny 2. After you finish a raid, you get to walk into this room, and one of these chests has 1,000 voices in it. You know what I mean? You only get to open 1 chest. Well, I think you can open 2 technically if you did that, but you get to open 1. It's your choice. You run into the room and you pick one, and it's got loot in it. It's crazy. It's super fun. And like, in my opinion, this is one of the best way loot was presented to me. It made me really excited. It felt really epic to kind of get in to the Last Wish raid and like finish it. Like you just finished killing. Oh god, what was that? What was her name? The giant dragon thing that you have to finish killing. I forget. Riven. You just finished killing Riven. And you come into this room and there's all these chests. You're like, oh my gosh, you're so excited. It's super epic. That's what you want to see. This is like the BDO version of that. This is like the Last Wish raid at home. Yeah, that's what this room looks like, but it still gives me hues of that. It could be done a lot better though. I'm gonna be honest with you, this room could look a lot better. Right? Okay, we wanted this, they gave us this. So you can get the Deboreka RIng, the resplendent Lightstone of Fire, Purified Lightstone, and the Star of Oblivion. Wait, what's the Star of Oblivion? In addition to the Deboreka RIng, you can attain 100 Stars of Oblivion you can exchange for the Deboreka RIng through the Stone Tablet. Oh, okay, so it's a pity system. Well, you get 2 Deboreka RIngs guaranteed, don't you? Yeah, you get 2 rings guaranteed, and then you get the Stars of Oblivion, which are like a pity system for it as well. That's cool. Okay, Monster Zone improvements. Okay, so that's the new Etherea's Limbo, guys. It looks like you just kind of go in, you get buffs based on which one you do, and you just kill mobs, I guess. I don't know. There's Trials of Etherea, but they didn't kind of go through what the puzzles were going to be or what you were going to have to do. I'll be trying to do this on the day it comes out. If I can get one, guys, I'm going to be going right in on it. I love puzzle systems like this. So, second it comes out, I'll try it for you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. Monster Zone improvement. Tungrad Ruins. Tungrad Ruins is a monster zone where you kill hordes of monsters using the essence of Ulakita effect acquired through the Tungrad Guide. However, some classes were able to continue grinding while maintaining the effect by attacking the monster first within the range where Ulakita's essence effect was not erased. So they were able to continue hunting at an advantage over other classes. Tungrad Guide is now unaffected by Ulakita's essence effect and has been changed to not remove Ulakita's essence effect, narrowing the gap between classes while also making grinding easier compared to before, and changed through the shorter, stronger Ulakita's essence effect prevents the speed from slowing down. Yeah, okay, so again, they're trying to bring the class balance in PvE. The pendulum of class balance in PvE is swinging more towards the middle. They're constantly trying to bring it back to the middle. Okay, so Tungrad Guide's vitality, so that's its health, has been reduced by 50% compared to before. Tungrad's Guide effect changed to be unaffected by the essence of Ulakita effect. Okay, those are the big changes right there, guys. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, City of the Dead, what's going on with this? The City of the Dead is a monster zone where you neutralize the strong spells recited by the Temrin Messenger and subdue the Temrin hordes in the aftermath. To enable faster-paced battles in this monster zone, the Temrin Messenger's movement distance is as follows. Has been reduced while the Temrin group is summoned by the Knight of Faith and has been improved to approach more quickly. Okay. All right. Interesting. The Black Sand Guide. The distance of the Temrin Messenger travels to cast a spell has been slightly reduced. All right. Skipped over a 30-second buff going to 6 seconds. Well, it's okay. All right. I apologize, guys. I'll read about it. Fine. You skipped like 3 lines in the chat's like, you skipped something. Tungrad Guide has been changed to be unaffected by the essence of Ulakita effect. Tungrad Aesthetic and Tungrad Punisher have been changed to receive the defense increase effect until the Tungrad Guide falls to release its energy. The defense increase effect is removed when the Tungrad Guide releases its energy. Tungrad Bringer has been changed to no longer remove the Ulakita's essence effect. The health conditions of the Tungrad Bringer is killed while flying have been changed. Wait, what? The health conditions when Tungrad Bringer is killed while flying has been changed. Okay, weird. Killed when remaining health is at 20%. Killed when remaining health is at 30%. So you kill them much faster. They explode at 30% instead of 20, it looks like now. The essence of Ulakita effect is 1.4 times stronger than before. The duration of the essence of Ulakita effect has been changed from 30 to 6 seconds. And when Futaric appears, the stamina of the Fearful Tungrad Guide and the Tungrad Aesthetic has been reduced by 50% compared to before. Okay, now that I've read every single line, are we happy now? Yes, it went from 30 to 6 seconds. That's a big deal. But it's also 1.4 times stronger, and you kill the mobs at 30% instead of 20. It's just slowing down some of the best classes in the game while probably not going to hurt the lower classes at all. Okay. Read it again. I'm done with you guys. The called Temrin Scouts and the Temrin Elites, called by the Knight of Faith, have been changed to behave more aggressively. The speed at which the Temrin Scouts and Elites attack adventurers has become faster. Okay, that's City of the Dead. Crypt of Resting Thoughts. The way the Dark Knight appears has changed. The Dark Knight will not appear in the dark for a certain period of time, but it will appear after a certain period of time, 6 minutes after detected by nearby adventurers. Okay, after 3 minutes in a non-combat state, the Dark Knight hides himself in the darkness again. Today I learned that Dark Knights are actually have penises. I mean, you wouldn't think it, guys. But again, you have to look. Adam's apple like the prow of a ship. You got to be careful. Got to be careful. Quint Hill Elvia. The Fever of Agris has been changed to not apply when the following monsters are killed. Encroached upon the Ancient Seal, Ancient Troll Warrior, Ancient Troll Singer. Okay, so basically all of them. Fever of Agris spell has been changed to not be applied when the following monsters are killed. Okay, so you can't use Agris at Quint Hill anymore. After defeating the next monster, the Heat of Agris effect will be applied the same as before. Oh, so you can use it, but it's just not going to work as well. the Awakening Troll Warrior, Slinger, Troll Porter, Troll Elite Warrior, and Troll Shaman. Oh, wait, the Encroached and the... Sealed? So, like, before you wake up the... Okay, so the Shaman, the Sealed Shaman that you kill, that, like, debuffs them all, gives you Agris. And the Awakened Troll Warrior... So, okay, so the Agris works. It's just on the ones after you... It's like on all the dudes that spawn after you get the big guy to half, and then you have to walk over to the Shaman or whatever, right? Like that. Everything after that looks like it gives you Agris. I'm pretty sure is what that means. Siege and Node War changes. Let's see if they listen to the United Nations podcast at all. Since the Node War was reorganized, adventurers in each regions have been sending us a lot of interest and opinions. As this is a major change to the content enjoyed by many adventurers, we also value the sentiments you have conveyed. Among the comments sent today, the part about the number of participants has been changed. Wait, did they actually... Hold up. According to the changed number of people, the number of war heroes participating has also been adjusted. We will respond with more flexibility to the changed number of participants, taking into account the actual participation status in each region and the opinions received, and expanding if the expansion is necessary. In addition, we are closely reviewing settings to bypass restrictions in Node War battles in certain items and abilities are restricted, and we will inform you on any of the changes at the Black Desert Research Institute. Hold up! They're talking about the Kaya necklace and the Chimera gems. Yo, hold up! They watched it! That's crazy! We will continue to check the various opinions received while participating in the revamped Node War and do our best to make the more interesting Node War. Wait, what did they change the caps to? Did they move it down to like 75 instead of 100? Fucking... Bro! Literally bang on what the suggestions were on the UN podcast. That's crazy. That's insane. The positions that can apply for the Node War has changed. Now it's not just the guild leader or alliance leader. It's basically staff secretary, staff aide, captain, and alliance leader. Okay, good. They can apply for Node War. That's good. GM doesn't necessarily have to be online. W. When applying to participate in Node War, minimum conditions have been added. Regardless of the server you're connected to, you can apply to participate in Node War if at least 10 guild members are connected. Okay, fine. The maximum number of participants in the Node Wars have been adjusted as follow. Balanos Serendia with the 550 gear score limit has been changed from 35 to 30. And you can only have one merc. Medaya and Valencia has been changed from 70 to 50. From 3 to 2 mercs. Calpheon and Kama have been changed to 75. And 3 people can merc. That's massive. That's crazy. Soft racks, there's already 2 Vala Node Wars. That's T1, T2, man. That's what they're talking about. That's like T1 Node Wars, basically. Oh, that's T2 Node Wars. This is essentially T2 level. And so, like, that was already in the game. They're just, like, making it its own tier now. That's huge, guys. That's massive. Now, they didn't necessarily listen to the podcast exactly, but, like, I'm going to tell you right now, we suggested these exact numbers. We also suggested this exact statement right here. We're closely reviewing settings that bypass restrictions in Node War battles, and certain items of abilities are restricted. Like the Chimera gems, the Chimera necklaces, elixirs and stuff that they basically give you an advantage in capped PvP. That was a big thing that we talked about on the podcast. So this is massive, guys. This is basically the developers saying, like, heard ya. That's amazing. And honestly, it feels really fulfilling for me to make some content that's actually making an impact. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Hopefully more people want to jump in on the UN podcast now. That's amazing. The individual rewards for participating in Siege War has been changed to be immediately paid to your Black Spirit safe. Okay, W. In accordance to the change, so that the individual rewards for participating in Node War and Siege are immediately paid to your Black Spirit gift box, the participation award button has been removed. Good. Accordingly, with the official server update, rewards are not received. Did they buff the Node War rewards too? Because that's what we also talked about, buffing Node War rewards. Rewards are not received after Node War and Siege will be paid to the Black Spirits shop. Okay. During the Siege War, the time that created to create a flag and flag construction has been adjusted from 3 minutes to 10 minutes. Okay, so flags are now going to be still 10 minutes. The production time for Node Wars will remain the same as before, 3 minutes. Okay. The taxes accumulated at each node territory have been changed. Increased, hopefully. Yes, sir. So this is the amount of guild funds that you're going to get from each fort. You're going to get way more guild funds from each fort, and I think that's a required change. Just because, like, if you don't get that much money, you can't even afford a war anyway, because the structures cost so much money. Yep, that's exactly what we said. Good. Did they say anything about, like, increasing the rewards? Like, do we know what the rewards for the Node Wars are going to be? As before, taxes accumulated in the Balanos Serendia tax cart that departs 2 hours before the start of the occupation every Saturday are accumulated as pre-conquest taxes upon arrival to Calpheon. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, there's a wagon that leaves... so there's a wagon that leaves from Velia. It goes like this. Or it comes down, it follows, it goes through Elder's Bridge. So it comes down through here like this. It takes the taxes for the week and delivers them to Calpheon. Anyone that hits the wagon gets some of that tax money, but you become a bandit and people can hit you in PvP. You don't lose any karma or anything, but like people can farm billions of silver on this wagon. If the people that own Calpheon defend the wagon and the wagon reaches Calpheon with extra money in it, the next guild that holds the castle for the week, or if you're streaking Calpheon, you will get more tax money because of what was in that cart. Okay. Usually the cart never makes it with any money though, because people rob it blind, boys. There's also a wagon that leaves from Heidel. It goes this way, comes down roughly like this. Okay. And reaches Calpheon in the same manner. It happens every Saturday at about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, so about 3 hours before Siege, I think. So that's what they're talking about right here. When they say taxes accumulated in the Balanos Serendia Tribute Wagon, that's the tax cart that departs 2 hours before the start of occupation. Okay, so it's 6 p.m. I apologize. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. I apologize. Are accumulated as pre-conquest in Calpheon. Sure, the taxes can be obtained by hitting the Tribute Wagon. Can be obtained up to 50% of the above tax, and the remainder is accumulated as Calpheon's pre-conquest tax. Makes sense? As the tax has been changed to set a specified amount rather than accumulated, the amount of tax accumulated in the Tribute Wagon has been changed so that the number of tax accumulated in the Tribute Wagon does not decrease when the tax is reset due to Node and Conquest War reorganization. So when someone else takes the castle. Okay, good. Does it happen on every server? No. It's Balanos 1 for the Velia cart, or for the one that leaves from Velia, and it's Serendia 1 for the one that leaves from here. Just be careful. There's going to be a lot of people there. You can try to ambush the cart, though. That's what a lot of guilds will do. So when I was in Vertex, we would try to protect the cart that would leave from, like, Velia, for example. And Black Rose would, like, sit in the bushes. You had guilds that, like BR specifically, would, like, sit in the bushes, and they would ambush the cart at certain points. We had scouts out everywhere. They're crouching over here. Then they would BSR bomb the cart, and we're trying to defend it. It was this massive open world thing. It was really, really cool. They would regroup at Olvi again and try to kill us. Then they'd try to get us again at Elder's Bridge. It was just a really cool open world. It's one of the coolest open world PvP events that used to be kind of in the game. It's still in the game. Sadly, a lot of guilds are too pussy to kind of go try it. I used to do it every week with Reforged. And like we would basically try to pit Cho and Digi against each other and then try to outcompete for the other card. It was a lot of fun. It was really, really cool. OTK top streamer competition, top 6. Yeah, we're there. They need to remaster it. Oh, it's really good. It's really good content. They better not remove it. It's really good content. It's not necessarily used by everyone, but it's really enjoyable. Especially when it like works, like when it works. You know what I mean? Okay, so quest changes, the Ulakita quest line. All right, so some changes to the Ulakita quest line, some content changes. The Magnus. Minor changes to the Magnus, nothing crazy, guys. Item changes, the phrase, the item defense. Okay, the description has been changed. UI changes. Some names have been changed to more clearly relate to the appearance change function. Okay, the refresh button has been modified to be exposed to the appearance album. Okay, no one cares. The quest icons. Okay, nobody cares. And then there's some bug fixes. Okay, so the biggest changes here, guys, is they definitely, hopefully they're listening to the United Nations podcast. I would find it hard to believe they're not with changes that are like this. They definitely, like, directly listen to it because they brought the maximum number of participants down, just like we said, and they're looking into restricting the cap stuff. So it's a big W from the developers. It's a privilege for all the content creators that are involved in making that content. And then this is why, guys, if you do manage to either see the United Nations podcast live, it's important that you participate in one of the chats so that the developer, because they're clearly they're watching it, they will see what you have to say. It's not just about the content creators, it's about the community. That's why I have all the chats on the screen when I do it. It's so that they can see what all the different communities are kind of saying about the different node war changes and what they feel like. So like, it's important to try to participate in that. And then if you can't catch it live, you try to comment on the video as it's just kind of a W. And again, it does look like they're looking at that feedback very closely. So Deboreka RIng is going to be added. Etherea Limbo looks like it's going to be a banger. And then the accuracy, evasion, DR rework, definitely the talk of the town. This is definitely the biggest thing in the patch notes here. Very, very cool. So that's the global ad patch for the week, guys. A really, really big one, honestly. Holy moly.